So what happens when you're retired or separated from federal service? You have several options, okay? If you retire or leave the federal government or military before you turn 55, you can leave your money inside your TSP. That's exactly what I did when I left active duty, because the expenses they charge me to keep money in the TSP are extremely low. They're so much cheaper than the private sector 401k or 403b. So it doesn't make a big dent when we go through a bear market again. Just keep in mind that you have to have at least $200 in your TSP to keep the account active. You also have the option to make a rollover from your traditional TSP to a traditional IRA, okay? A Roth TSP to a Roth IRA. So you don't get penalized or taxed. And if you feel like managing your own money by investing in different stocks, ETFs, or mutual funds, then the IRA rollover might be the right option for you. You have another option to make a rollover from the TSP to a 401k, 403b, or other employer plans if you got a different job after you left federal service. And let's say you retired between the ages of 55 and 59 and a half years old. Then you can withdraw from your TSP penalty free, but you will owe income taxes on the earnings and interest that accrue inside your Roth TSP, not your contributions. If you only invested in traditional TSP, then you will owe taxes on the entire distribution. That makes sense so far, right? And keep in mind that the employer match is always in the traditional portion of your TSP unless you make the in-service conversion to a Roth. And that function, I checked the TSP website the other day, is still not yet available on the TSP, but it will be in the future. Okay, so you can also request to keep your money in the TSP if you have other income sources until you're 59 and a half. So what happens if, let's say you retire after you're 59 and a half? You won't owe any taxes on the earnings and interest if you have a Roth TSP. If you have a traditional TSP, you can leave your money inside your TSP until you reach the RMD age. RMD stands for required minimum distributions. So I believe right now with the new retirement law that just got passed by Biden, right now at my age anyway, is 75 years old, is the latest I have to start making withdrawals so that the government can get us cut on taxes, right? And when you're retired, you have three options to make withdrawals from your TSP. You have installments, partial or total distributions, and annuity purchases. Okay. For TSP installments, you'll need to contact TSP and choose payments monthly, quarterly, or annually. And some retirees choose to withdraw, let's say, $50,000 at the beginning of the year and just budget on that $50,000. So that retiree doesn't deal with the market volatility. And some retirees would rather get monthly payments, and it's completely up to you. There's no right or wrong answer on how frequently you want to get paid by the TSP, or you're paying yourself. And you can only make these changes once a month by contacting the TSP. And you can do an installment of a fixed dollar amount or installments based on your life expectancy. And you can check out the life expectancy tables on the IRS website. And it's funny that the IRS tells you what your life expectancy is. And you also have to choose if you want your money from traditional Roth or both. Okay, so you're going to get a tax form. I can't remember the numbers off the top of my head, but you will get a tax form and say, this is how much money you got from TSP. And it's going to be broken down between traditional and Roth. And then it tells you how much of that is taxable distribution. And obviously Roth is non-taxable distribution. So if you make $100,000 a year in retirement income and say you do $70,000 is Roth, you're only taxable on the $30,000, right? And the second option is to make a partial or total distribution. And if you make a partial distribution, then it needs to be at least $1,000. And there's no limit to how many times you make those partial distributions. It's kind of like you're on an ATM, but the TSP can only process one partial distribution in a 30-day period. You can actually take a partial distribution once every 30 days on top of the installments that I just talked about. right? So you can do, by the way, if you're interested in joining my private individual, couple, or group sessions or my private Facebook group, you can sign up for my private membership group on my main YouTube page or by visiting firesightchat.com/coaching to discuss your financial independence journey. I want to take $1,000 out of my TSP, and I'm getting $1,000 from my TSP every single month on the installments. You can do that. You can do it on top of that if you want to, okay? But you can only do this once a month, okay, for the partial distribution, okay? And if you decide to take a total distribution, let's say you want to close out TSP and you want to take the whole $1 million and run away, then your account will be closed out with a balance of $0, okay? The third option is to purchase a life annuity. And I'm personally not doing this option because I think annuity plans are always a bad deal compared to how much money, how much my money can grow in the TSP. But I don't want to go over the annuity plan in this live stream. You can visit the TSP website to find out more about annuity purchases. All right. So the best option, in my opinion, is to keep the funds where they are and use the 4% withdrawal rule. And let's also assume that you have $1 million in your TSP. The 4% withdrawal rate would be $40,000 a year, right? And if we go through a bear market, you might have to reduce your withdrawal rate to 3% or lower. My strategy is to use cash during the bear market so I don't sell my investments at a loss. And as far as how to reach $1 million in your TSP, you can rewind this live stream to about 20 minutes, or if you're watching this on replay, I will have timestamps in the description below. So one more thing I do want to show you. You can keep your money in CSIGF or life cycle funds after you retire. And what some retirees do, and actually, you know what, for the life cycle fund, it actually goes into the L Income Fund. What some retirees do is move their money out of the individual funds and put them into the L Income Fund to minimize the risks. The L Income Fund, as of right now, has 70, you know what, there we go. Can you see that okay? Okay, so it's about 70% G Fund, 5% F Fund, 13% C Fund, 3% S Fund, and 8.6% in I Fund, all right? So that's effectively about 75% bonds, 75% bonds, and 25% stocks. And it's performed on average about 3.88% in annualized return for the past 10 years. The problem with this is that you may have to withdraw less money to maintain that growth inside the TSP. So you want to be very careful about this. If it's doing only a 4% return, who's to say it's only going to do 3% or 2% in the future years, right? Then I might not be able to withdraw more than 2% in retirement. So if I had $1 million in the L Income Fund, and I wouldn't be comfortable taking out more than $20,000 a year with a 2% withdrawal rate to make my money last throughout my retirement. But if I leave my money, let's say in a C fund, and I would be more comfortable taking out $40,000 a year with a 4% withdrawal rate because the C fund has averaged not 12%, but a 7% annualized return in the last 20 years. But what if we go through another bear market like last year with an 18% negative return, right? Then I would stop making any withdrawals from the TSP and use the 24-month cash savings that I have in a separate account and live on that until the market recovers. The longest bear market lasted about 19, maybe about 20 months. And I'm also going to have different income sources like dividends from my taxable brokerage account, real estate income, and business income, right? And this is why I encourage you to not just invest in the TSP, but use a Roth IRA, buy real estate, and invest in other assets. I have plenty of videos on how to grow those investments if you go to my main YouTube page. But anyway, this was a beast of a video, and I hope you got a lot out of it.